So my name is Richard Muirhead. I'm one of the co-founders and I'm managing partner at Fabric. I guess as such, my role is to try and help everybody else in the firm be as successful as they can be, but to help even more importantly than that, all of the founders that we partner with be successful. Fabric was founded about 10 years ago and has always been looking at this intersection of sort of accelerated computing, self-sovereignty, and artificial intelligence and how that all comes together. And we have about 20 people in the team. We've backed about 500 founders, more than 100 different projects, and we've got a few $100 million euros of assets under management. I think it is very hard to escape the fact that AI has come of age in many different forms, or perhaps arguably in one particular form, that is of large language models in the recent past. Many of the team has a background from studying at university through to building companies that use components, primitives of machine learning. Obviously with the Transformer paper about 6 years ago, and now with the compute and the data that has been made available to train these models, we can see in our hands currently through a chat interface the power of the inferences that come from those models. But I think that's just the very beginning of a whole series of application experiences that are going to be built, where we kind of foresee the death of the app. We'll no longer choose an app to solve a problem, but where other experiences, application experiences will come to you that are personalized, contextualized, and kind of aligned with your interests on demand. I think of it in my mind's eye as a kind of almost like a streaming of an application experience. And that is AI's impact, but it covers many different sectors, obviously from health to finance to gaming. And in the context of that, I've been around since the kind of first wave of the web last century. Identity, be it for the consumer, be it for the enterprise, has always been critical. But the question is always not, is it critical, but how to get people to benefit from having that digital identity and how to get it adopted. But I think the stakes, as well as the kind of promise of having clarity around your digital identity and how you want to be represented in different environments, is higher than ever because of this explosion of the AI opportunity. And so I think that's a kernel of investment, of our investment thesis that we're focusing on. Well, I mean, as you're mentioning, it's about self-sovereignty. So that's the ability for individuals to represent themselves and their best interests, and either to benefit from that or to obviously have, what they have at stake kind of removed. It's the two sides of the kind of same metaphorical coin. And it is through kind of embracing the power of the individual like that, and decoupling it from, central authorities of trust, be they banks, governments, or whatever, that, we don't just perhaps avoid sort of some dystopian future where, in particular with AI, we get a concentration of power, profits, and propaganda that we're going to find extremely uncomfortable. And we don't just sort of have kind of flex our anarchist muscles and kind of get away from stick it to the man, I think is the phrase that might have been used. But actually, the way we always thought about it is that you end up with much more, you embrace the merits and the capabilities of individuals, you coordinate them at scale, and you do that not just for the individuals, but all of the software that they are able to produce, and the little markets they're operating within, and you actually end up with a much more adaptive, flexible, powerful, pervasive set of digital capabilities or utilities than you would have otherwise. And that composability of those different application components, which is often touted as being a kind of power of the Web3 world, needs within it a kind of composability of identity, a reusable ability of identity. And so, we're excited about that. And if one can find a pragmatic way of taking it to market so people get immediate value from adopting it, then I think, that's a winning combination, hence why we partnered. Which is a phrase or a kind of portmanteau of some description that really can be summarized, it represents a summary of what I just said, in the sense that you have the power of decentralized finance primitives, which truly can be sort of at the beck and call of the sovereign individual, but you're coupling them with the movements around kind of open finance, embedded finance, banking as a service, all of these different components, and you're integrating them in a pragmatic way that reflects that it's hard to solve the cold start problem for any startup, but solving it when you have not just decades but hundreds of years of institutionalized, brand and and money and literally and so forth at stake, is particularly hard. So it's better to try and meet in the middle, find pragmatic solutions to real problems today, and I think OpenFi reflects that.